An empire, baby. An empire, baby.
What's going on, world? It's your man, I Am Young Hitta on Hit Nation Empire with iHeartRadio. I'm here with Maliha, and she's going to tell you a little bit about herself.
Hey y'all, it's the It Girl Maliha representing my brand today. Maliha, check us out on Instagram at Maliha the brand. I'm 24 years old from Atlantic City, New Jersey, and it's Jersey in the building.
So Jersey's in the building. As they say, you know, it's all casinos in Atlantic City, but what they fail to realize is people like us that's in Atlantic City doing big things for Atlantic City and representing our brand national-wide, because we're not just local, we're international. So I'm here with Maliha. On the table, we got some hats. The hats that we have on the table are some new branded hats that's about to come, some exclusives. So we hearing it here first. We seeing it here first.
Right.
And we have some Hitta Punch. We'll get into that later. But Maliha, so you're 24 years old, and you're doing the damn thing.
Thank
so
you.
how's it feel, first of all, to be in your position?
Honestly, like I told you before, that my motto is just to keep going, keep going. So I don't even realize where I'm at, but I know there's so much more that I want to achieve. So that's pretty much it.
Sure. So you ever heard of the saying, you know, people on the outside looking in? So on the outside looking in of yourself, what do you see?
I just see a driven young woman that's beating the odds, that's chasing her dreams, that's making things that aren't normal, and just setting the standard for, you know, people where I come from.
Sure. I mean, that's super dope. So that's how you see yourself. That's something you were looking to do, or that's just what naturally happened?
It's what naturally happened.
That's dope. So has anyone reached out to you saying that they see yourself the same way?
Yes, absolutely. I get nothing but love and compliments and well wishes. So I can only imagine that that's how the world views me.
So how's that feel?
It feels good because I definitely would rather accept love than hate. So in a sense, it's just a good feeling to have so much support. Sure.
So I have to ask, as an entrepreneur myself, how many friends do you have? You got a lot of friends?
No, I do not have a lot of friends. I'm definitely big on the 4 quarters rather than 100 pennies. I've been rocking with my childhood friends since day one. Like literally, maybe we was 2 years old when we met in daycare, preschool, and they're my friends to this day. I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I don't got to worry about too much drama in my circle.
That's actually a good thing, because I'm the same way. A lot of the people that's around me is a lot of people that's been there since, you know, childhood. You know, I mean, that's the people you trust the most. You know what I mean? I mean, because a lot of stuff that we have without signing paperwork is like intellectual property that you got to protect.
Right.
You know what I mean? So coming from Atlantic City, you know, a lot of people say, you know, I'm beating the odds of Atlantic City, but a lot of people, some stuff go over people's heads. So I don't want that to go over anyone's heads. I want you to explain what that means, because a lot of people in our city, you know, are super dope. They're doing a lot of dope things, but it's not being seen because we don't have platforms, or we haven't had platforms until, you know, now we're able to talk about the things that we're doing in the city, because from what I think is, you know, a lot of people don't know that there's people there, so they're not tapping in. You know, they only tap into the casinos for what they know. They see what other celebrities are posting. They seeing, you know, the celebrities, they're not going to the hoods. They're not walking through the communities, so they don't know what it's like. So they only come to Atlantic City to gamble. So other people that never heard of Atlantic City or has heard of Atlantic City, they only seen it probably on a celebrity's platform where they win a lot of money or something of that nature. Right. So what does it mean to be beating the odds to you in Atlantic City?
Well, honestly, just being able to envision something and then bring it into real life is beating the odds to me, because like you could always dream about having a foreign car, but what are you going to do to get the foreign car? You know?
Right.
So for me, on a day-to-day, my day-to-day looks like Maliha, my brand, because I want the finer things in life. I don't want to just keep watching it on Instagram. So like for me, I use Instagram as a tool, you know, as motivation. I don't just use social media as a way to consume other people's lives rather than just look at it how should I say this? Like, I use it to fuel me, not defeat me. So beating the odds is I want to be the girl that I see. You know, for all the people on my mood board or my inspiration in my mind, like, I want to become that. So I got to put in the work to become that. So that's beating the odds to me, not just watching it happen, but actually making it happen.
That's super dope. So you're an action girl.
Yeah,
You're
absolutely.
not somebody that's just talking. I mean, and that shows. I mean, that's a part of the reason why we're here today, because we're looking to highlight people that are actually doing it, not on Instagram saying they're doing it, and in reality, you see them, they're not doing anything.
Right.
You know, because at the end of the day, the real motivation is seeing people say they're going to do the things and really see them do it and accomplish it. That's the motivation piece of it. So,
See, a lot of people come to me for advice, and a lot of times the biggest advice that I could give someone is to just do it. Like, literally, like, if you're thinking about it and it's tangible, you don't need a big budget to make it happen, then just do it. Like, if you're doing hair and you got to start doing hair out your kitchen, just do it. So that way you can get the studio, so you can have the salon, but you got to start somewhere. A lot of people think you got to have it all together in order to start, but in reality, that's really not how it works, because I remember I was 19 in LA, I was working 3 jobs, and I wanted to start a business. I was around other black female entrepreneurs that had, you know, the game on lock, and they kind of inspired me to, you know, just do it. So I literally just picked up the phone one day. I called my friend. I'm like, I want to go to China. All the big bosses is going to China. So let's make it happen. Literally 3 weeks later, we end up going to China because we just did it. You know what I mean? It was the thought, and we made it happen in that moment. We didn't wait 2 years to make it happen. We didn't wait 3 years to make it happen. Literally took us 3 weeks to just get out there and pioneer the dream.
Sure. So that's super dope. You know, coming from a place like Atlantic City where, you know, you can drive down Atlantic City and not even spend an hour. You know, you actually have to have the mindset to reach for the stars. And literally, that means going out there, spending your own money for transportation, spending your own money on products, and sometimes even losing out on money where you like, dag, you know, I thought I had it. And, you know, I got a couple questions that, you know, that is around what you just said. I'm going to ask you this, and be honest. Do you have it all together?
No, I don't have it all together. Do I wish I was in a different position? Of course. That's why I said there's so much more to accomplish. But, you know, I'm 24. I'm still trying to get my credit together. Like, you know, the goal is at 800. I'm almost there, but I'm not there yet.
Right.
You know, I have a business credit card, but the limit is low.
Right.
I want the $30,000 credit card,
Right.
you know, so I could flip houses and do more outside of just selling clothes,
Right.
because the goal is financial freedom and generational wealth. So it's bigger than this. It's bigger than me, and I'm losing my train of thought.
It's all good because you're an entrepreneur. So a lot of times as an entrepreneur, you know, it's a challenge to talk about yourself because, you know, when you're a person that's humble and you're to yourself and you just own your grind, you know, you're not somebody that's flattered by talking about themselves. So this is not, you know, our platform is just about being you. It's no, you know, it's just the raw. We want the raw. We don't want the edits.
Right.
The edits is not who we are. This is not reality TV. This is reality for real. So at the end of the day, you know, it's okay to lose your train of thought because I do it all the time. You know what I mean? So, you know, as an entrepreneur, your mind is always going. Sometimes we're up late at night, so it's hard to think right sometimes during the day, but we still got to do it.
Right.
So let me ask you, why was it important to you to go to China? Why did you feel as though, you know, you just had to do it and that you had to do it so rapidly that you just had to get there? What inside of you made you feel like, yo, this is the moment, this is the time I need to go?
Well, I have something in me that it just doesn't sleep. So when I think of something, I got to get it done in that moment. And then, like I said, I use Instagram as a tool. So if I see all these boss females online and they're going to China around Halloween and I want to be an entrepreneur, then I needed to go to China around Halloween. And that's exactly what I did. I followed their blueprint. It's already established. You know, like sometimes you really got to do what's already successful because it's a high success rate at it. So, you know, I just, like I said, I use Instagram as a tool. I see things, and I just try it myself. And if it works, it works. If I lose, I won. I still win because I learned something, you know? Like, I have thousands of dollars of product sitting in the house that doesn't go anywhere, but I know what not to do now.
Right.
I already lost the money, but I learned the lesson.
Right. So, I mean, sometimes a loss isn't really a loss because you learned the lesson.
I paid for the lesson.
Right? And you paid for the lesson.
I paid for the lesson.
But you got to make mistakes in order to learn what not to do.
Absolutely. And you can't let that one L defeat you.
Right.
Because it's going to come, you know, more money, more problems. And the whole 9 yards. So I could only imagine the challenges and adversity I'm going to face when I'm at a different level, you know. But right now, I'm building the character and the discipline to be able to sustain those challenges when they come about.
Sure, that's super dope. So, I mean, going over to China, like, that's not something that everyone does. You know, a lot of times we get clothes and it said made in China. We put it on. We don't know what part of China it was made in. We don't know the history of the person that made the shirt. We just put it on.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the thing is, you know, for you to be in Atlantic City, coming from Atlantic City, you know, we don't have too many models that's going to, role models that's going to give us the jewels, that's going to give us some gems. You know, you got a lot of people that we can watch. You know, there's been a lot of success that came out of Atlantic City. Let's not be remiss with that part. You know, there's a lot of people that come out of Atlantic City, but there's a lot of successful people that don't come back and extend the hand and show how they did it. So there's really no blueprint there. Right. You only can see what's out there, you know, like on Instagram, you seeing these people posting stuff, but it takes a real person to see what they're doing, to see what they're following. You know, a lot of people go online and they follow these celebrities and they're just looking at the girl with the big butt. They're looking at the guy with the abs. They're trolling the people. They're just saying negative things underneath their comments. And you're using it as a tool to find out, without even conversing with these people, to find out what it is they're doing. You're just watching. You know, and that's a positive thing and a negative thing. What you're doing is positive. A lot of people post stuff and you hear about all these killings and stuff like that because people are following too to see what they're doing. So when you went to China, I want to talk about your experience, like, you know, from start. You know, you don't have to go too deep into it, but I really want to highlight the important parts of, you know, what you were thinking when you woke up. You know, like I'm really going to China. You know what I mean? Like, how was that first day? You know, bags packed and you about to go. Like, what was that about to go moment like?
Well, I do notice something about myself a lot. Like, whenever I'm doing something major, 9 times out of 10, I'm up all night. Like, I'm up all night. So I had got my hair done. Like, you know, I get myself together to make sure I look appropriate out there because we're doing business, right? Always dressed to look. And then I think our flight was like a red eye. So I think we had to leave at like 4 a.m. I just stayed up the whole way. And I had braids in my hair. So it was like a culture shock because we was on the foreign side of the airport at LAX. And, you know, people of Asian culture, they're not used to braids. So they're like, you know, taking pictures of me and like grabbing my hair just because they're in awe because I look different, you know? So that was the culture shock. But it was just exciting. Like, I guess I was just in that moment. I was really present in that moment. And then it was just a long flight, maybe 12 hours. We had to take 2 different flights. I felt special because when you know, take foreign flights, you actually got to walk up on the plane.
Oh, yeah.
So that was special. And then we got there. We stayed at a decent hotel. When I travel, I try to stay at American hotels just because they kind of are equipped to, you know, handle us in our customs. So we would wake up in the morning, and literally my friend Armancy, she don't play. She's a boss, you know, so I was following her, she was following me. We just kept each other, you know, you got to match energy, you know. So it was like, we going to get up and we just going to hustle. So all the trips was about maybe an hour or two. So basically I would talk to my manufacturers online. I would just research them on Google. And I just asked them like, hey, I'm coming out to China. Is there any way I can meet you? They would send me their warehouse addresses, and, you know, we would let the taxi driver know this is where we're going. We would go to my stop, then go to her stop, go to my stop, then go to her stop. And that's another thing, like when you're with other bosses, it doesn't matter if we both sell hair. It doesn't matter if we both sell jewelry, like, because at the end of the day, you're going to help me and I'm going to help you, and you have a different audience than I, and vice versa. So, you know, we was out there just trying to find anything, you know, $1 million product. I say it all the time. Like, I will go back to China, you know, when things calm down a little bit. But it's $1 million product out there waiting for me, and I know it. It got me this far. Like, one of my main manufacturers to this day, 4 years later, is one of my manufacturers out in China that I shook hands with these people, and I was standing in the room where they make my jewelry, you know. So that was, like, the highlight of my experience. Like, because, like you said, everything's made in China. We asked, we's like, well, what do you take back to the States? Like, what's, like, the iconic souvenir? They're like, oh, nothing. Everything's made in China. You already have it. You know, our whole outfit made in China. So it's like, okay, so I'm really the plug. Like, I came directly to you. You're going to make exactly what I asked you to make. We're going to shake hands about it. I'm going to make sure you get paid. and you're going to make sure I get paid, and we're going to spread the message about my brand together. So that was definitely the highlight. But it was just push, push, push. Like, it was like stop after stop. We was out of the hotel literally all day. We stayed out there for about 8 days. Every day we was out there working. No fun. That's another thing I try to advocate to my team. Like, playtime is over, right? We're here to work. We can have fun right after work. But while we working, we got to stay focused. Mm-hmm. So we just kind of strategized. We lined up our day. Even if, because we didn't know our way around. So even if we went somewhere and it was an hour away and then the next trip was 2 hours, we thugged it out, took a little nap in the taxi, So we was out there to find a product, and that's exactly what we did.
That's super dope. So, I mean, that's that whole experience, I know is, is a wake-up call. Mm-hmm. Sometimes even though we're successful, we're doing great things, everything we're doing is on a up and up, but sometimes you get to another place, you're like, yo, I was bugging, what was your wake-up call moment when you got to China? Like, if there was one where when you got there and you realized something about yourself that you didn't realize once you got over there?
It might have been put yourself first, because, like I said, I was 19. I was working 3 jobs just to stay alive in LA. It's a city that'll eat you up and spit you right back out. So one of my jobs was remote. So when I left, I still had to work for somebody else while I was still trying to provide for myself. And it was just one of those moments where I was like, you're about to change your life. Just stay focused and do what you said you came out here to do. Because at the time, I think our flight and our stay was only $800, but I don't have $800 to waste, So I think at that time, for real, my experience just would have been like, focus on yourself, because in the end, it's going to pay off. Sure.
I mean, that's super dope. Like you said, like I remember being out in Europe, and that moment when you walking on the plane, you're going somewhere that you've never been before, and it's like, you had someone with you, right?
Right.
I had no one with me when I went to Europe. I was just experiencing stuff, but I was experiencing so much stuff that it was like, yo, I know they don't got this back in Jersey. Like you said, earlier in the interview where you said, it's not about starting something new all the time. It's about starting something that was there, but doing it differently, whereas though it becomes your own and you're able to grow that. I relate a lot of different things to a lot of different companies, right? Uber and Lyft. Who came first, right? It doesn't matter because everybody uses them both.
Right.
But one company was there first, and they seen what someone wasn't doing, and they did that, and that added to what they did that made them differently. Now they're in competition. But one is more successful than the other. But everybody has their season. That's going to turn around. They're going to come out with a feature that they don't have. So it's like, and that could be a friendly competition. It could be 2 people that are friends that have the same idea that was like, oh, I just got to beat my friend. And then they probably go out for drinks after that feature come out. Right. That's important. Like you said, we both could be selling hair. We could be in the same, in our town, our city where we're from, a lot of people get mad at each other because somebody else comes out with something after them, or they're a copycat or something. But they don't know the whole industry is a copycat.
Right.
Everything like, in the hood, we take yogurt, we ain't got a spoon, we squeeze the cup. We've been doing that. Right. Somebody seen that and say, yo, let's make a squeezable cup. The cup been squeezable.
So I'm not perfect. I've had, negative thoughts before, but I always tell my team, check yourself, right? Sometimes it's you that's the problem, and that goes into mentality. So like before, if I noticed something that maybe somebody was copying, and it might have only took me 2 seconds to check myself because I'm really not that kind of a person, but I literally had to just rethink and say, you're somebody's inspiration. You know what I mean? So it's not that they're copying you because that's a negative vibe or something like that. It's just that they're trying to get like you. They're trying to be like you. And that's a good thing. You know what I mean? Would you rather train up 10 people that's going to be successful or just keep all the success to yourself? And I think keeping the success to yourself is kind of whack. So I'd rather feed a village. That's my mindset.
Yeah. So, I mean, I got that energy from when we spoke, on the phone. Like, your mentality is like, yo, I know I got to help myself first, but there's other people that I'm helping with what I'm doing. And there's other people that once I get to a certain place, I want to go back and help. And there's some people that you're probably helping now. We're always helping people, even when we're not actually talking to these individuals, because we're helping their spirit.
Right.
We're helping their motivation. We're helping, whatever they feel like they can do, they feel like they can do it now because you did it. So it's important for people like you to post not only your product, like a lot of people just only post their product. Nobody knows nothing about the person. Nobody knows about, where it comes from. When there's a backstory behind a successful product, people get more in tune with it. People say, I like this person even more.
Right.
Well, you know what? I'm going to buy this shirt. I don't even like this shirt, but I like Maliha. I'm going to wear this. Oh, I didn't even know that shirt fit like that because she got it on. I'm a little, I'm not a skinny girl, but I ain't fat either. I don't know if that shirt going to fit me because it's online. And do you put it on? They're like, I like how that fits. And we're shaped the same way. That's why I'm following you, because we're shaped the same way.
Right.
Now I'm going to go buy that shirt. Oh, girl, I like that shirt. I like that shirt. I like the way that shirt look on you. And then you like, oh, girl, I like the way that shirt look on you too. Now we twinning, and it's okay for us to twin.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's definitely okay for them to twin because they paid for the twinning, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? So sometimes it's about the bigger picture and things. It's not always about, the person copying. A lot of times, people will say, oh, look at them. They trying to be like me.
That's
what I say?
corny.
That's corny. They trying to be like you. How can you have supporters and somebody trying to be like you? Right? That's like it's a myth. It comes with the lifestyle. If nobody's following you, don't really have nobody supporting you. So if they're supporting you by, everyone supports in ways. A support doesn't necessarily have to be funds, right? You already know that.
Right.
A support don't necessarily mean I have to buy a shirt. If I shared it, I may not have to buy, have the money or the funds to buy the shirt. My life might be trash, but I'm on Instagram. All I may have is a phone, and I'm showing you love. Those comments, you got to be able to accept people where they at, all egos aside. You know what I mean? So a lot of things that you're doing is big. A lot of times, people have to remind me because, like you said, you're constantly going. You're not thinking about yourself. You're thinking about what it is that you have to do. Of course, you're taking care of yourself. You're eating and the normal things. Sometimes we don't do that. Sometimes we don't have time to do that, right?
Right.
We may nibble on something, but you got to brush your teeth for the next shoot. You know what I mean? So people don't know what it is that you go through either. Like I asked you earlier, do you have it all together? I said no, but on the outside looking in, you got it all together. And a lot of people don't attempt to go for what it is that they're trying to go for because they feel like they got to go all together, like you said. I don't have it all together. And I've been doing what I'm doing, DJing, since I was 10 years old. But there was nobody there to hold my hand.
Right.
You know what I mean? You had to do something to crack a door for people to see you. You know what I mean? And then you had to do another thing, check yourself to see how you see yourself in order for you to display an image for people to see you a certain way. So what is the Maliha brand? What does it stand for?
Okay. Honestly, Maliha the brand is my legacy, right? Every piece that I drop is a piece of me. Like, it's a reflection of either what I'm going through or what I've been through. And, like, just for example, I'll break down the hat. So this is the logo, right? One of my best friends from high school designed this logo for me just off the strength. She randomly sent it to me one day, and I loved it. So here it is. And then on the side, this is Arabic writing. It says Mubarak, which means blessed, because I feel blessed. I'm a blessed person. So if whoever wants to wear the hat, I want you to understand that either in this moment or even through hardship, you're blessed, and don't lose sight of that. And then on the back, it's the number 3, because 3 is my favorite number. It's a godly number in my religion. Typically we do things in 3, so that's why I just felt like it was important to throw it on the hat. So the hat is a reflection of myself, and it's something that I would wear. So I feel like if I could wear it, you could wear it too. So another thing is, when you invest in my brand, you're investing in my dreams, because all I can see is me on a bigger scale, but I'm not going alone. Like my mom always said, it takes a village, right? So I want to be able to come back to my village and feed my village and give them experiences that nobody gave me. So
that's super dope. I mean, so you started your LLC at what age?
19. It was a gift from my mother.
So it was a gift from your mother. So what did you say to your mom for her to be like, sometimes, I'm a parent, right? I got a son and a daughter, a 6-year-old daughter and an 8-year-old son. They ask me for God knows everything, you know what I mean? But it's certain things that we see important and certain things we like, nah, you don't need that. What did you say to your mom for her to say, all right, I got to gift this to my daughter? Like, you know, because she knows it's important, but what did you say to her and how did you say it to her for her to understand how serious this was for you?
So my mom is very supportive of everything that I do. If I said I wanted to sell onions tomorrow, she would go buy me a bundle of onions and watch me flip it, you know? So I don't even know. Maybe I just picked up the phone because I was in LA, she was in Jersey, and I just told her, I'm like, Mom, I want to start a jewelry business. Like, I want to be a jeweler. And she was like, oh, okay. Well, what's the name of your business? And I'm like, I was thinking my name, but I want to do Carrots by Maliha so people know it's jewelry. And she was just like, no, I think you should use your name. Your name is powerful. Like, my name means beautiful in Arabic. It's from Saudi Arabia. It's definitely like a part of my culture because my father's from Pakistan. So Maliha in general is just, it comes with a lot in a good way. And, you know, my mom was vouching for Maliha, but in my mind at that moment, I wanted Carrots by Maliha. And all it took was for me to tell her that I wanted to do it. And she's like, okay, I'm going to start working on your LLC. And then literally, like, overnight, she did it online. She sent me the paperwork when it came in the mail. And literally, ever since I've been in business, my mom has been picking up the tab to keep it renewed. So that's her gift to my brand. It keeps me afloat. You know what I mean? My LLC has never expired. My EIN is good, and it's been active for 4 years. So shout out to my mom.
That's super dope. So I got to ask, the LLC, you know, was that something that you knew you needed or your mom knew you needed an LLC?
Definitely that came from my mom. My mom's an entrepreneur herself, very educated. So she always likes me to do things the right way, you know. But I don't want to discourage anybody who doesn't have an LLC to start a business. Honestly, like, if you could go without it for as long as you can, try. I can't say too much, but yeah, try to go without it for as long as you can, and then when you really, really need it, get on it. I think the only thing I really needed my LLC for was my EIN number when I wanted to work with manufacturers who required an EIN number. Sure. But there's so many ways around that. There's plenty of manufacturers who don't require it. So, you know, like I said, just do your research. Don't be lazy. Like, get online and look for the answers to your own questions because there's nobody yanking me out the bed to say, Maliha, you got to book this, or Maliha, you got to pay this invoice. That's all self-will. Like, I get up every day and I do it because that's what I want. So if it's something that you really, really want, get on it. Everything's online. Everything's at your fingertips. So
that's super dope. As a business consultant myself, you know, that's the same advice I would give a client. You know, I bring them to the table. What is it that you're looking to do? I'm looking to do this. You know, everybody have dreams and aspirations, but, you know, as a consultant, I'm real with them. You know, what's your budget? You know, what do you have? You know, what do you have tangible? What do you have that's not money that we can use to get you money? Like, you know, we put all things on the table. So, you know, like you said, wait as long as you can because a lot of times most people's starting point is LLC. Right. You see it on social media because social media has become that place where everyone shares everything. Like, right? Facebook, the first thing they ask you, what's on your mind? And people is giving it up. What's on their mind? You know what I mean? Because, you know, they feel like they become more popular. You know, people see them more, or whatever reason. You know, the first thing you see people post is that LLC certificate of formation with their address blinked out, and they say, yo, I started a business, right?
Honestly, having an LLC means nothing. So you can have an LLC with Maliha on it, and I can have an LLC with Maliha on it. It's not set in stone until you copyright your name or trademark your name. So having an LLC is, I'm not going to say it's irrelevant, but it's also not that important, especially when you're a beginner, when you're just starting out. Because you might do something and you may not like it. Now you got an LLC for what?
Right. I mean, and then the LLC, you know, just talking about LLCs, right? What is an LLC? For people that don't know, a limited liability company, right? So, you know, a LLC, the purpose of an LLC is to separate you from your brand. But at the same time, it's a lot of pieces that still attach you to your brand that if you don't know, you just don't know. And the thing is, you have to know. And it's easy to know because if you're online on social media or you're Googling anything, you can find out any answer you're looking for.
Right.
All right, Maliha. Tell me about why it's important to you to have an LLC at this moment in time. Like, we talked about not having to have one until you're ready and you know for sure what you're doing. Why was it essential for you to have one? You know, I know Mom, you know, got your back because your mom is an entrepreneur herself. You know, what does mom do? If you don't mind me asking.
No problem. My mom is an engineer, so she runs every Atlantic Cape Community College, so Hamilton, AC, and Cape May. So basically, they can't run their business without my mom physically being there. So that's what her and her team do. But she has her master's in engineering, but she also has a business called Saving is Sexy, short for sis. But yeah, my mom is really big on saving your money, using your money the right way, and making sure that throughout your lifetime you're secure. Like, life insurance is so important to my mom.
Right.
Basically, anything that is security is important to my mom, and a lot of things that often provide us security, you got to have money to have. So, like, you got to pay for health insurance, you got to pay for life insurance, and so on and so forth. But it'll cover you in the long run. So that's kind of like what my mom represents, and that's what she does.
That's super dope. That's super dope because in your conversation, two of the things that you talked about, two of the things I do.
What is that?
Right. So you talk about insurance. I'm licensed to sell insurance in 47 states.
Lit.
A lot of people don't know that. That's not something that I share with the world. You know, the world's going on now, but that's not something that I'm promoting. That's just something that I have as a tool for my people that need it. You know what I mean?
Right.
The engineering. You know, I'm in the engineering field of DraftKings, their infrastructure. I get those stuff that come over. I get those layouts that come over from Europe, and I'm the guy that implement it. You know, so it's a lot of the same things. You know, I'm essential. I'm the first New Jersey hire for this company. International hire where, you know, they never had of me, but now I'm the core of the operation.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the same thing with your mom do, I just do it, you know, on the online gaming side. You know, so that's super dope to have someone like that because that's somebody that is always going to be ahead of the curve because they have to be.
Right.
And they'll
my
be able to
mom's
school.
always ahead of the curve.
Yeah. People that
She's
work in
prepared.
technology is always ahead of the curve because technology is always changing. You know, something today can be hacked tomorrow that you got to be on guard to know what to do. You know, so you got to be a logical thinker, you know. So it seems like you came from a, you know, great background, a strong mom, you know what I mean? Islamic mom. I've seen that, you know. You know, I'm not a person that's going to sit here with you and talk to you and not know a little bit about you.
Right.
You know, a lot of the questions I asked, I already knew. You know, we had a conversation already. You know, I'm following for what I see for myself. But it was important that I asked because it's people like us that don't know what's really going on. They just see it's online, like you said. You know, so it was important for me to highlight you, you know, and what you're doing. You know what I mean? So I want to revert back to the answer, to the question we were talking about why it was essential for you to have this LLC at this moment in time.
Okay. So right now, I feel like I need my LLC more than ever because I'm trying to build business credit. So when you go in the bank and you want to, you know, sit down with the business consultant, you ask them, like, how do I start this business credit, this line of business credit, they're going to ask you for your EIN number. And that's primarily what I needed it for because there's no investors within my business. Like, don't get me wrong, like, my family help out where they can. My loved one help out where he can. But at the end of the day, it's nobody cutting me no, oh, here's $50,000, go flip it. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to wait around for somebody to just magically give me a couple $1,000s. I'm going to go find a way to get it. And by doing that, you can establish business credit. Yeah, and they just tell you, you know, whatever you use, pay it back. But the difference between personal credit and business credit is that there's no percentages. So, you know, if you use 100% of your limit, as long as you put it back, it's not going to ever penalize you. So that's the good thing. So if I get a business credit card for $30,000 and I want to go furnish an Airbnb, I have $30,000 to use, not 10% of $30,000, but the entire 30, as long as I put it back. So that's really all I really needed my LLC for right now, because all my manufacturers at the moment don't require EIN. When I tried to do like wholesaling clothes, a lot of the boutique manufacturers did require EIN, but that's a lane that I don't want to be in, primarily because I want to offer quality. I would rather you buy something from me and it lasts a century than for it to just be something that's in the moment trendy. But I learned that through lessons that I had to pay for in the long run. But yeah, that's primarily what I need my LLC for right now, is just trying to build the business credit.
That's super dope. Yeah, business credit is very essential to a lot. Actually weighs more than personal credit. You know, you gotta. It's kind of weird because how it's set up is you gotta kind of have personal credit a little bit to establish business credit, but once you get business credit, it's like that weighs more than personal credit.
Absolutely, because it's just so much more freedom behind the business credit. I feel like with your personal credit, it's almost like you in a race. Like, oh, I got to make sure I make my payment before the 4th, or, you know, like, dang, like, I don't want to spend over this amount, or, like, I could only use it for one transaction, or whatever the case may be because of the percentages, whereas, like, business credit, you ball out, make the investment, take the risk, you know what I mean? And it's, right now, it's my money, but that's what I'm working for, to be able to use the bank's money. You know?
I mean, the thing is, nobody's gonna give you nothing without saying you have something first. That's just how it go.
And that's kind of like how I deal with relationships on a day-to-day too. Like, I ask all my team members, like, why are you here? What's your purpose? What can I do for you? How can I help you achieve your dreams? And so on and so forth. But, like, I can't help you unless you tell me and be honest with me, like, what is it that you already have established?
Right.
You know?
So that's super dope. I mean, like, for example, you know, the average phone bill for like 3 to 4 lines, right, is probably $300-$400, you know, because of the, you know, the service, the taxes, fees, right? An average individual is going to T-Mobile, Sprint, AT&T, or these different places, whoever they use, and they paying that phone bill. But the family members is breaking it down and whatever, they making it happen, right? I have a business I have a business account with T-Mobile. Right? And these are things we learned along the way. You know, I learned a lot more because I studied as a business consultant. But prior to that, it's just our own research and doing a lot of different things. I have about 10 lines with T-Mobile, and I pay about $200 because it's a business credit line.
Right.
And anything that you do when you put in your account, your LLC, your EIN, that's like your business Social Security number is attached to it. It's growing something, even if it's a little bit. And the thing is, you know, these companies, people don't know how these companies structure it. You know, what they looking to get. Because we only see what they advertise, but they don't know the backside of the company and how the company is ran. You know, we don't know how the backside of the company is ran. They don't know the backside of, you know, what's the ins and out of the company and how the company is successful, right? You know, a lot of these companies, they build based off of what they know you can't afford.
Right.
Right? They know you can't afford it, so they know you're going to have a crazy APR where you're going to owe more money than where they're actually asking. That's the whole company structure. But they would never come out and say that because at the end of the day, if they did, nobody would buy into it. Right? So a lot of the things that, you know, like a phone company, how is it that a company like, I'm not even going to say names, right? How is it that a company can have for people that's working a regular time job or a 9-to-5, which is nothing wrong with that. We all work 9-to-5s, and still, you know, we got to treat our businesses as 9-to-5s in order for it to be successful, right? So they make it better for people in business than it is the average individual that's trying to make ends meet. There's a reason behind that, because they know you're going to keep paying it because you got to keep that phone on because you got that job that's going to call you. You got kids. They know that.
Right.
But then in business, it's like, yo, I got to keep it low because it's real easy to get rid of if I don't need it. I don't need that no more.
And can I say one more thing? I don't want to discourage anybody from getting an LLC. That's not what I'm trying to say.
Sure.
But let's say you start a business, right? Give yourself 3 months and see what you can do. If the results are exceptional, get the LLC. Because then you'll be able to get funds a lot quicker, right? But if you start a business and you get the LLC from the rip, and we haven't seen a post in 6 months, we ain't seen no content, no new products within 6 months, why you got the LLC? You know what I mean? Like, if anything, if you feel like you want to have a slow start, then, like, just use your time wisely to gain knowledge before you step into it, because I promise you, it's like, once it's something you start, you can't stop.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we always want to use the tools for the way that they're designed and not use the tools the way that is built to be against us.
Right.
So, you know, get the LLC. I'm all for it. Like, I'm telling you, I'm trying to build my business credit as well. But make sure you got the hustle. Make sure you got the determination and the discipline. Because, like I said, it's nobody. Mommy's not telling me to do what I'm doing. She might be supportive, but this is all me. You feel me? So
that's super dope. And then it's like, you know, a lot of people, because a lot of people don't do research, I'm not saying you don't know this. It's just, you know, we're talking to the general public, right? it's a step that you can do locally before you even think about an LLC, right? You can go to the county clerk's office and get a trade name certificate and pay $50 and get your name for that local community, and you can take that to the bank. The EIN number, you can still get an EIN number without an LLC. You can just have your EIN number in that certificate, and you can still go to the bank and open a business account, right, at a lower, and then you can take that trademark name, I'm sorry, not the trademark name, you can take that trade certificate, same name, and take it and make it an LLC later on.
Right.
So there's a lot of different things that people can do, and that's just a part of, holding yourself accountable, because at that point, you can get rid of it. You can get rid of it, and it's not causing any damage.
Right.
You can get rid of an LLC too, but it's a little bit more. You got to pay to dissolve it. You got to put more money out just to take back out, and which automatically turns into a loss all the way.
Right, and you did all this to
Right.
turn back.
Right.
What was the point?
Right.
When you could have just, gave yourself some time,
Correct.
put the work in, and, see if that was fit for you. Because a lot of people, I see people starting businesses and stuff like that, and they're not successful at it in the beginning. But it's not about you being successful at it in the beginning. It's about who's going to keep it going.
Right.
Who's going to keep it going. So, just figure it out first. Give yourself a cushion before you just run into getting an LLC, because like you said, it's harder to get out of it.
Right. So my next thing is there anything special going on with the Maliha brand that you want to announce or say, as we're coming towards the end of the interview? Is there anything that you just want to throw out there that we didn't touch on?
Yes. So something that's very special to me and means a lot to myself, and the reason why I'm doing it behind my brand, is the scholarship. Our first scholarship that we ever given away was to a Howard student from Atlantic County. Her name's Dynasty, and we was able to give Dynasty $1,000 her freshman year at Howard University. And at first, when I started the scholarship, I wanted to gift a different young lady every year $1,000. But the reason why I even started the scholarship was because when I went away to school, I kind of was like high and dry, and I had to financially keep up with my new life, right? And I didn't have nobody to provide me with, nail money or hair money, or, if I went to the mall and saw something nice that I wanted, I had to find a way to get it by myself. So I gave Dynasty $100. I broke it down for her because I wouldn't be the daughter of saving it sexy if I didn't. Because I felt like if I gave her the $1,000, she could have spent the $1,000 in an hour.
Right.
You know what I mean? I broke it down for her to specifically treat herself to something every month while she was away to school, and it couldn't be anything school related. So that's also a plus, and what makes my scholarship a little bit different than others. But instead of leaving Dynasty high and dry, so for every year that Dynasty goes to school, she can count on $1,000 from Maliha brand. So if she wants to pursue her master's, that's about $7,000 from Maliha brand.
That's what's up.
And we just gonna keep it going. We might add a few girls later on down the line, but as of right now, we're gonna focus on Dynasty and get her through her journey, because I know what it feels like to go away to school and just be like, well, what's next, or trying to figure out where I'm going to get my next meal and so on and so forth. So, Dynasty, I want to let you know that you pushed me. Hold on.
It's okay. It's okay to cry. Bosses cry too.
She's not my child, but
It's all good. See, listen, this is the raw. This is what we talk about right here. This is the raw. We not here to fake the funk. We giving it up to you how it's coming out. You know what I mean? So if tears come out with it, it's okay. It's a part of the journey. Because at the end of the day, it's coming from a place where you feel it, and she's going to feel it just as well.
So, Dynasty, I want to let you know that while you was away at school, I had ups and I had downs, but every month you counted on me to give you that money. And I just had to do it. I know $100 may not be a lot to certain people, but it was a lot to me, because in the end it equaled out to be $1,000 throughout the year that I was able to provide for you. And I check in with Dynasty every month. You know, her only requirement is to tell me what she used that money for.
Right.
And, you know, she tells me all the time, like, I appreciate your advice. Thank you. I appreciate your advice. And I just feel like I might have been dealing with something, and she might have been dealing with something too, but I had her back. I made a promise to her, and without Maliha, the brand, that money is non-existent, you know?
Right.
Every day I'm betting on myself. Stay tuned, because that's going to be my next campaign, bet on yourself, because there's no checks coming unless I get up and get it.
Right.
I tell Corey all the time, turn these pictures around quick, because the sooner I could post them, the sooner I could make the money, the sooner I could put money in your pocket. Now I'm feeding whoever he got to feed,
Right.
you know? A lot of people is dependent on me, and I signed up for this. I signed up for this because I know that that's what I want to do.
Right.
And it's so much bigger than me. It's so much bigger than Corey. It's so much bigger than anybody around me and anybody supporting me, because I'm going to a place that nobody around me has been.
Right.
And there's a lot of unanswered questions and things that I want to know that, you know, my mom tells me all the time, I don't know the answer to that, Maliha. I've never did that before.
Right.
So, like I said, a lot of this stuff is self-made in a sense, or, you know,
Right.
self-motivated. But I don't have any children. I never had somebody depend on me
Right.
outside of my team, outside of Dynasty. Did I call her Destiny? Because her sister's name is Destiny. But, yeah, it hit different when people depend on you for certain
Sure.
things. Like, we can't do this today. And then Corey look at me like, okay, well, you know. And I'm like, well, I don't got it. That's not how it works. You
Absolutely
know what I
not.
mean? So it really hit different, because my dreams is funding
Right.
meals, is funding, you know, her to getting through school. I'm not sure what that money did for her, you know what I mean? Because I know what it feel like to wake up and your hair not done and be sitting there miserable because of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's just really important to me. I woke up one day and I said, I'm not going to cut her off. We going to keep this thing going as long as you stay in school.
That's super dope. I mean, because I'm the same way. You know what I mean? When you raised a certain way, you carry that into everything you do. So obviously you carry it into your business, right? You know, you show up a certain way, you give it up a certain way. Even if you don't have it all together, you're going to look like you got it all together at all times. You know what I mean? And sometimes maybe not, right? Like you cried today, right? But it's okay. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's for a reason. You know what I mean? Nobody's hurting. They're happy tears. You know what I mean? So one thing I want to let you know from somebody from Atlantic City, I'm proud of you. You know, keep doing what you're doing. It's super dope. You know, there's other people out there that's doing it. But you put your foot first, and you're not giving up on yourself. That's the first thing. And also, like, keep coaching. Keep doing what you're doing, because there's a lot of people that look up to you. Even the people that you don't know is looking up to you. So, you know, cheers to success. You know, black excellence. You know, cheers to your mom. Shout out to your mom. Shout out to the moms. You know, we all got dope moms that was there. You know, we got dads and stuff like that too. But it's something that moms do that's a lot different from dads. That's a different type of love. You know what I
Because
mean?
mom's got to be there 24/7.
24/7.
Not just to pay the bills.
Right. So at the end of the day, like, you know, I got 2 kids, right? And they have 2 different moms. But a lot of people be like, oh, I ain't messing with them. Forget them. No, they got to be good too, right? They got to be good too, because they're not good, the kids ain't good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody goes through something. So you got to be there for everybody. You know what I mean? Everybody's a family, you know? So one thing I definitely want to do is toast with you. Mm-hmm. I know I bought some drinks with me because I have a new drink called Hit a Punch. It's kiwi, strawberry, mango, peach, and monk fruit, and 5% vodka, certified vegan. So I just want you to try it with me, you know,
Absolutely.
and just toast to success, because I know this is not going to be the last time I see you. I've been seeing you doing your thing, and we've been seeing each other and complimenting each other. So, you know, one day I was in Atlanta doing some work, and you was in Atlanta doing some work, and we seen each other like, oh, hey, what's up? So
Right.
It feels good to bump into people that in rooms that we didn't even know we was going to be there.
Right.
Right?
And
You
that
know,
was a big room.
That was a big room. So I was DJing for Asian Doll. Our best friend Megan Thee Stallion, you know, that's her friend. You know what I mean?
And that's how my product ended up on the Shade Room.
Right. So it's like
being
we've been
in
in that room.
in that moment.
And people don't know, right before that right before I DJ for Agent Dial, I was in Atlanta with my cousin. My cousin's the sheriff out there in Atlanta. We were just out there trying food. Because we big boys. We like to eat. Right? So we just trying different stuff. And I get a call that my grandfather passed away. Right before this big event. You know what I mean? And when we do events like that, it's big for our career. But right before this event, I lost my grandfather.
I would have never known.
You would have never known. But nobody knew. Right? I cried at the restaurant. I couldn't even eat my food. So I was hungry, right? I wasn't paid a lot of money for that. A lot of the money I was spending was my own money. You know what I mean? But I was there. And I said, yo, I got to get myself together. I got to go in here because these people are probably compassionate, but they really don't care that I lost my grandfather. They came in for a good time. A lot of people in the room flew in from other places. They were seeing this for the first time. So everywhere I go outside of the city, it's like, yo, I'm here from the city. Everybody's not in this room. Not everybody trying to get to this room, but being that I'm here, I got to represent for AC. I got to represent for Jersey. They don't think we live there, so I got to let them know that somebody's here. So right before that, I lost my grandfather. And I was doing so many events and so many different interviews that I couldn't even make the funeral.
I remember when you was out there, you had a lot lined up.
Right? And I didn't line none of that up. I was going to Atlanta. I said, when I get out there, I'm going to let everybody know I'm there. And that filled my itinerary because they know when I come, I mean business. And when you have that rapport, people always can count on you. You know what I mean? So I definitely want to toast, to success. You know what I mean? Yeah. I got the Hitta Punch here.
Can I have that one?
You want this one?
Yeah.
That one seems special to you. All right. So I'm going to crack this one. Toast it up. Try it. If it's nasty, say it.
Let me see. Oh no, it's good, babe. You would like this. You would like this. It's giving the seltzer vibes.
So most people are still confused, right? They think Hitta Punch is an energy drink,
right? Because
I made Hitta Punch in 2017. In 2017, it was kiwi, strawberry, mango, and peach, right? And it was made with alkaline water, B12 vitamins, and antioxidants. This year, on March 26th, we launched Hitta Punch, and it's a vodka. Right? So it's a little bit different from what it was.
It's only right. You a DJ.
Right. So now, every place I go, I DJ, they got to have this. You know what I mean? And then, I'm not really a drinker. Like, people laugh at me all the time because they're like, how you going to be a DJ? You're not even a drinker. And pretty much everywhere I go, I can drink for free. But my mom drink wine. That's what I drink. You know, I like Bel Air. You know, so I wanted something that I could drink that's not too much. Right? I can watch myself. Just 5% in here. So I know if I have 15 cans, I know I'm getting lit. If I got 2, I'm like, hey, how you doing? You look a little different today. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, like, I just want people to know, all the youth out there to know that no matter what you put your mind to, you can do it. You're going to meet people that don't even know you from a can of paint, that are believing you, and things will start moving. That thing that been dormant all along, that you've been killing yourself about. And I don't mean by killing yourself literally, but internally, you're killing yourself about something that's standing still. Sometimes God want that to stay still because they waiting for that person to meet it. And 2017, I made Hitta Punch, and I was getting calls 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, yo, what they think I'm a drug dealer or something? Like, oh, I gotta sleep at some point. But it wasn't in the store, so I knew I gotta get in the store. I gotta get somewhere where though I could sleep. And when I did that, it was like, I had to get away from it because I got busy as a DJ, busy as an engineer, busy as a producer. So I didn't want to give nobody the recipe for them to be making it, So I just sat on it. This year, I met my publicist. I have a publicist that's based out of Philadelphia. He's on Fox. He deals behind the scenes, VH1, a lot of different things, CW, and I made 2 gallons of the drink, right? I met him this year, but you got to trust somebody.
Right.
You got to take a leap, right? I made 2 gallons of my drink. And when I made this 2 gallons of drink, I gave it to him. Like, take this to the meeting with you, go to this vodka company. They fell in love with it. Here we have today, Hitta Punch. Right?
This is major.
So this thing is, I wanted to keep it clean. I wanted it to not be too much. Right now it's at every bar at the Showboat, and then we come into stores next month. You know what I mean? So I want the kids out there to know, like, You know, you can be anything you put your mind to. You know, you just got really just do it. You got to do it because there's going to be a lot of people that tell you not to do it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then you got to say, look, you just sit back and watch like everybody else. You don't want to be my friend no more, that's okay. I still love you.
Right.
Like, I had a friend that I cursed out. And then I sent them money. They said, what the hell? I said, you said you needed that. I'm not going to not give it to you because I'm mad at what you did right now. You're still my friend, though. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it's like, when you're a genuine person, that's not going to change no matter if you're in business or it's personal. You know what I mean? So cheers to success. Keep doing what you're doing. And I hope to see more. I love to see you duplicate yourself and see what that product turns into, because a lot of times, you know, it's going to become a time where we're not young no more, where we got to sit back and chill. You know what I mean? A lot of people, they're not doing well in life because they took it all with them and they're selfish. Nobody want to deal with them no more. Mm-hmm. So they don't got nobody to depend on because they destroyed those relationships. Mm-hmm. When you replicate yourself and you're doing different things, you're always going to be good because you're making sure other people are good. Right? So you got the scholarship program. You know, I just announced today in the press that we got a DJ program that's grant funded with the POW, where we're going to be teaching kids 12 to 17 how to DJ. We got all the equipment already, bought all the equipment already. All they got to do is show up, right? They come to the POW, they're going to learn how to DJ, and their first performance is going to be national at August 2nd. So it's like a lot of things that we got to do it, because the people in power right now, they don't care about the kids. I'm not saying they don't care about the kids, but the kids don't feel like they care about them. Right. Because we talk to the kids. We hear what they're saying. Mm-hmm. It's not coming from us. It's not our opinion. It's theirs. Right. So all we can do is have our ears to what they're saying and show them that there's really people there. You know, it may be people that's in power right now that just haven't got to that. That's not saying they don't care. It's just that the kids feel like they don't care because there's nothing going on for them right now. Right. So, you know, the things that we're doing, the things that we're creating, and the things that we're doing is important because we're able to provide those things without needing help from these other places because we're making it within our businesses. Mm-hmm. So I'm proud to say, you know, to have you on our platform, to have someone that's willing to take less just to give somebody else. Anybody on my team will tell you I'm the same way. There's times where I didn't even want to DJ, but I'm like, yo, I got 5 people I got to pay. They already spent this money. They ain't even got it yet, but they depend on this money. So I go do the gig, deal with the BS, because at the end of the day, they needed it more than I needed it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So having that mentality, and I love being around people that have that mentality. That's why I'm throwing an entrepreneur ball for my 30th. This right now is selling for $7.
Can I have them?
They're all yours.
All right, just send me a Zelle or your cash app.
Nah, they're all yours.
Oh, they're mine to keep.
I bring gifts.
Oh, okay. Well, that's yours.
Okay, cool. See, there we go. We bartering. But I was even a barter situation. My mom raised me, you don't go nowhere without a gift. Mm. Gifts, right? When I was DJing in Atlanta, it was a guy giving sneakers to all the DJs, and they remembered that. Mm. I'm going to give you something to remember. If my breath stink, I'm going to say, girl, on air, do my breath stink? Because I'm not afraid. You got to be not afraid. Right. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, that's why I said, tell me what it's like. If it sucked, I'll need to hear why it sucked, though. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, it's all about being you. Keep doing what you're doing, you know what I mean? And representing for who you are. You know, a lot of time, you know, you're Islamic, right? But you switch it up. So you garbed up, you could be yourself, but it's never like in a disrespectful way. You being you, but still respecting yourself. And that's important for women, too. That's real women empowerment.
So my mom always said that Islam is in your heart. So I know who I believe in. I know who I pray to. It wouldn't be me without it, you know. So it's not more so about like what I got on. It's what's inside of me. And I know that for sure because our religion is Americanized. We don't live in a foreign country where, you know, everybody stops and prays at the same time. So I know who I pray to. I don't need to explain that to anybody, you know. So, and, you know, maybe other Muslims need to hear that too, you know, because I know some people feel obligated to fulfill the dreams of others when it comes to religion, especially like how much pressure family can put on you in regards to religion. But on another note, just make sure y'all following Maliha the brand on Instagram. So at Maliha the brand to stay tuned. There's not a release date yet for these hats. It comes in pink and it comes in blue. But, you know, you got to be following the brand in order to see what's going on next. So make sure y'all stay tuned.
All right, Maliha, so I'm going to put it on you to close this out. You know what I mean? because I do a lot of DJing and a lot of stuff like that. But I want you to close it out.
Okay. All right. So for anybody watching, anybody listening right now, just make sure that if you dreamed it, that you can wake up from the dream and actually put work behind it to make that dream come to life. The only person in the way is you. Like I said, get online, do your research. Google is your best friend. And, you know, if you ever need me, I do my best to reach out to anybody, you know. So if I see a message, I'll respond and so on and so forth. So I could be a resource to you. And then we could see how you can help me and I can help you. But, yeah, that's all that I have for today. And make sure you're just following Maliha the brand. It's up.
All right, thanks, Maliha. Thanks for your time. Thanks for, you know, sitting and talking to me. It's super dope. Like I said, everything you're doing is just dope. You know what I mean? So just keep doing it. You know, thanks for sitting with me on iHeart, Hit Nation Empire, where we can actually put it out to the world, all the great things you're doing. So it's definitely a pleasure speaking with you, and I know we're going to be doing a lot of things together. So cheers.
Cheers. Hit a punch. This is lit, though.
Thank you.
Got a little tingle.
Yeah, a little tank. Yeah. So we good.
That's it?
Yep.
It's a wrap.
So
Empire, baby. Empire, baby.